Hello, Kirtana here. How are you doing? In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about all things ClickUp, and it's literally a comprehensive guide for beginners. This is going to shorten your learning curve with ClickUp, and it's one of my favorite project management tools. And in this video, I'm going to show you why. So this video is going to be a compilation of smaller chunks of videos. So we're going to talk about introduction to ClickUp. We're going to talk about how to set up your ClickUp profile. We're going to talk about, it's an introduction to ClickUp list. So what you can do with the ClickUp list, how does that look like, how does that function. Then we're also going to talk about how to change status on tasks in ClickUp. And then we're also going to talk about, this nifty little tool created by ClickUp and how you could use that between your email and ClickUp. So I hope you're excited to dive in. Let's go. This preliminary beginner introduction video to ClickUp, I'm going to show you how this works and what to expect if you were to use ClickUp as your project management system. So once you log into ClickUp, this is how your dashboard looks. And here you see three things. You see favorites, you see spaces, you see dashboards, and you see docs. So dashboards, like the name suggests, is when you want dashboards. The main thing that we'll be using is spaces. So when you click on this, so the space is literally like the biggest folder in ClickUp. Above that is workspace. So each of this is a workspace, like this is ClickUp workspace. So workspace is your account on ClickUp. Spaces are within workspaces. So think of each of this as separate folders, like the main folder, drives rather, not even folders. So in this, like say this was, you're an agency and you're running client accounts. So you can just say agency name and clients. And when you click on it, you could have multiple folders within it. So what does each space contain? Each space you can add a new list, a new doc, a new folder, a new sprint folder. So the way I like to organize my client folders, this is an account which I just use for personal use, which is why you don't see it. But the best way to organize things is to set up a folder, give it a name. I'm going to say client A, for instance. Once you create client A's folder, then what I like to do is I like to add lists within the folder. And what I also like to do is I like to break it up into modular pieces. So say for instance, my agency is offering multiple services. We are offering PPC ads, we're offering Facebook ads, we're offering onboarding. So what I would do is I would essentially under this create an onboarding list, create a Facebook ads list, create a Google ads list. Because then what happens is I could share each of these lists to specific contractors if I'm working with contractors. So I'm making it as modular as possible. And that's the way you really arrange, your spaces within ClickUp. You could have boards, like here you see I just have a board, but if you have a client with multiple services, then I would recommend the modular method. And yeah, that's a quick introduction with ClickUp. And what you also see is you have different views. You have list, board, calendar, Gantt, timeline, activity. I like using list mostly. And the way things work in ClickUp is you can basically set statuses for a list, a folder. So you could list statuses. So right now it is whatever is part of the custom statuses. So if I were to say, for instance, cold emailing, I'm going to say in progress. What's going to happen is it's going to break out and it's going to look like this. And if you want to bring it back to do, it's going to look like this. And what's really cool about that is, so when I did in progress, you noticed how in progress came on top. And if this is something that irritates you, because it does me, I would go to group by status, click this out again, and basically say I want my arrangement to be to do, in progress, stuck, and things like that. So yeah, quick introduction. I hope you liked it. In the next videos, we're going to dig a little deeper as to what you can experience with each of the lists and how to explore ClickUp deeper. Thank you. The first thing to do when you log into ClickUp is to set up your profile picture and set up your notifications. So the way to set up your profile picture is when you move to the bottom left corner, you click on that and you're going to have a menu bar open up. Then you go into My Settings. And in here, you could change your profile picture. Let's do it together. Add custom avatar. Upload picture. Okay, I think this right. So select the icon there and adjust it, hit save. And this is where you can customize everything in your My Settings space. So it's very simple, follow the instructions. You can set the color theme, you can set the language, you can set the time zone, the time format, the date format. Whatever else you want here. Don't post comments with enter, markdown. So you can really see a little bit more here, understand the different things, and set up your profile. Okay, so I'll leave you to it because most of these are self-explanatory, and each of them have these shortcuts which you can read and see if that's something you're going to use. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to set up the notifications. So notifications in ClickUp, quick word of caution, it could get overwhelming very quickly, very soon. And what I do is I've set up a mechanism where I can avoid checking the notifications. But if you are somebody who live and breathe notifications, this is something you can do. And once you come in here, you can again follow these instructions. You can basically say, I want to be notified in email, mobile, web, in-app. This is web, in-app. This is browser. Sorry, this is browser. Web, in-app is when you can download ClickUp, like you could add it in your dock here. And that's what web, in-app is, I guess. So I'm not going to go too deep into this. I'll leave that to you because most of it is straightforward. And this is how you start off and get started with ClickUp, by setting up your profile picture and notifications. Thank you. Hi, in this video we're going to dive a little deeper as to how the lists look in ClickUp and how you can use it to kind of make the best use of it and basically shorten your learning curve with ClickUp lists. So list is one of the views offered within ClickUp, and when you click on a list, let me just go into a particular list. So these are spaces, and within spaces are lists, and you could also have folders within spaces, and within folders could be lists. So list is this, the component which cannot be divided further. Like a space could have folders, folders could have lists, or a space could just have lists directly. I hope I didn't confuse you. So this is a folder. Within a folder, there is a list, or you could directly add a list within a space. Okay. Sorry. Anyhow, so when you open a list, this is how it's going to look. You're going to have tasks which you can enter like this, and then each of the lists have statuses, and you could change the status according to how you would prefer. And if I were to select this and say it's in progress, what happens is there's a new section created which says it's in progress. And if you want to select multiple tasks in a list, all you have to do is hover over to the status and click on select all. You also have group options. Yeah. So here you select all. And what happens when you select all is you see this banner on the top open up with a bunch of options. So the eye essentially is where you want to set watchers to a task. What is a watcher? A watcher can be anybody who is associated with the task, but who's not directly responsible in the fulfillment of the task. So essentially, they want to always have the pulse of what's happening with the task without directly being responsible to it. Like the names, just watchers, right? Like they want to know what's happening. Here you could set assignees to multiple tasks at one go. So I could do this. I could remove myself, I could unassign myself, or I could add other people, because this is a dummy account which I'm just using for the videos. I can assign it to myself. If you had a list of team members, all their names would pop up here. Okay, what you can also do is you can change your status, and that's where you do this. The other thing that you can do is set tags. So tags essentially is an additional thing you can add within tasks. And what tags would do for you is it would further help you divide the tasks. So for instance, if this was an operations team's task, I could just put ops as tag. If this was a marketing team's tag, I could just put marketing. And over time, I could also use the filter option to filter tags. So that's how you use tags. It's very similar to your email campaigns. You can convert it to subtasks. You can move tasks or add tasks in multiple lists. So you could either move this to another list or add this task to multiple lists. You can duplicate these tasks. You can remove tasks from this list. You can set dates. You can set priority. You can set milestone. You can set dependencies. I've never really used milestone, but what dependency is, when you have two tasks which have to be completed, and the second task is dependent on the completion of the first task. For instance, if you're running Facebook ads and you need to have creatives and copy before you set up the ad. So, which essentially means, the final setup of ads is dependent on creatives and copy. So you can basically create two tasks and say this task is dependent on this task. So as a project manager, if something's not moving forward, why it's not moving forward. And you can merge tasks. You can do task linking, task linking essentially means you could connect two different tasks from two different lists. So I've never really used it too much, but that's the main need of it. You could add custom fields. If you were to create more columns, that is considered a custom field, and you could play around with that as well. You could archive tasks, you could delete it, or you could copy the names of the task. If you want to just add it somewhere else, you could just completely copy this. So that's everything you can do with a list. And if you want to basically deselect it, like so many times, like you would try to be like, I want to click out. Why is it not going? Why is it not going? So it doesn't really go. The only way to do it is hit dismiss. Then it disappears. Okay. The other thing that a list has is these three dots, and you can click on it. And when you click on it, you have copy link, copy ID, and open in a new tab. So if I were to copy link, I can copy the task link. Every task in ClickUp has a unique link. You could copy the link and share it with your team members so they could just open the link and go to the specific task. Copy ID is a shortened version of the link. It doesn't have the whole link, but it just has the ID. Opening it in a new tab is straightforward. Rename, you can add to another list, add to favorites, add to lineup, add to tray. So I want to talk to you about what adding to tray means. So adding to tray essentially is like opening a new tab in ClickUp. So when you add something to the tray, it just starts opening these small tabs below, so you can quickly access the task again. And you have duplicate, you have email to task, merge, move, dependencies again, sharing and permission, archive. So this is really what you can do with a list. You also have automate. You can also share your list with people. And when you open up a box in ClickUp, this is what the inside of the task looks. Remember how we said each task has a unique link? This is the link. So this is where the description goes, and you could have your assignees here. You could set priorities here, and this is basically if you want to set an estimate time for the task. So if you're doing repetitive tasks and you want to say, hey, this only takes 15 minutes, so your team member knows that in 15 minutes they must complete this task. It's a great way to use estimates. And then you could also set due date, This is where the description of the task goes. You could have attachments, you could add subtasks, you could add a checklist, and you could type comments using @ So if you type @ and somebody's name, that will pop up as a hyperlink, and they would also get notified two places. One is in the notifications and the second is in the mentions of ClickUp. So where do you find those two? I'll just show you. Notifications go here, and mentions, if you go home, you see mentions pop up here. Here. So if somebody added an @ symbol in my name, the mention will show up here. So that's a quick rundown of what you can do with the list. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you enjoy working on ClickUp. Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to change a status of a task in ClickUp. And what you have to really do is, once you go into the specific list or folder, if you click on this square colored icon, you could just select whatever status you would like to move this to and mark it as to do. So this is one way. The second way is, if you are on a particular task and you open this up and you want to change the status while you're working on the task, you could just try and change the status in here. And the third way is, if you want to change the status for multiple tasks at a time, all you do is select all, and then you could come here which says set status, which is like a square again. You see that colored square. Select it, and then you could change it to whatever, and then what it does is it would just change for everything. And when you click out of selecting all of it, it can seem a little irritating because you're like, wait, it's not going. All you have to do is come here and hit dismiss. Then it just disappears. That's how you change the status in ClickUp for any specific task. And the same rule applies to subtasks as well. So if you were to add a subtask list, you could change the status again for a subtask list the same way, and it would basically change the color really. It won't further divide here, but it would just change the color here. And if you mark anything as complete, it would hide itself in subtasks. And if you mark any task as complete in your list, it would just disappear. So that's a little bit about statuses. I know I went a little further, but there is some overlap to the training I'm going to show you, and you're going to see that in the next video. Hi, in this video I'm going to talk to you about why ClickUp is an amazing project management system, and one thing that it has which a few other project management systems lack. So what it has is, it has a Chrome extension which you can download. All you have to do is type ClickUp Chrome extension. It's called ClickUp. They had called it ClickBot previously, but you can just type ClickUp Chrome extension and you should be able to find it. So why do I like the Chrome extension, and what does it really do? So this is the Chrome extension. Because it's already downloaded, you'll already be like, this is already, you want to remove from Chrome is the option I'm going to get. But let me just quickly show you what it can do. Okay, so the cool thing that this can do, like, I think I have to log in. Let me just log in. Okay, so once you have the ClickUp Chrome extension installed, what you can see is, if you were to click on any email, I'm going to click on a non-client email. So if you were to click on this, what happens is a simple icon like this pops up, and what you can do with that is you can directly add this task to ClickUp. So let's do it right now. So add to ClickUp, let's click on that. So it takes a screenshot of all the emails between you and Cult in this case. And I could either add it, create a new task, or attach it to a task. So if I were to create a new task, it's going to ask me which list I want to create this task in. So if I'm just gonna select, okay, GHST Digital Client A e-commerce. So if that's the list I'm going to select, I can just type this as test and create new task. And I can also assign somebody here, and I think also set the due date. So if I were to go into ClickUp and show you how that looks, so go into Spaces, go into GHST Digital, here you go. So here you see test cult session booking in the e-commerce thing. So in the list e-commerce offer, and once I click on it, what I do see is the screenshot which the app took. So if I click on it, I can see all of the emails between cult and me. This is the only email, but if I had multiple emails in this thread, I could scroll up and down and see what that looks like. Okay, now let's attach it to the task and see how that would work. So what happens here is there's a direct connection with the task and the email because you created it from ClickUp app. Okay, so because they keep changing the name, it's hard for me to remember. And if I were to attach something to a task, for instance, let me go to another cult email and attach it to the task. Okay, so if I'm gonna click on this here and attach it to the same task that I just created, what it does is it just attaches this to the task and again creates a shortcut for the task. So if you are somebody who manages clients through email and have your project management system on ClickUp, if it's hard for you to kind of ensure everything from email is inputted into ClickUp, inputted, if that's a word, has been input into ClickUp, what you can do is just use the app and it takes a screenshot and it gets attached automatically. So if there are changes and it's easy for you to, instead of just copying the message, just take this and have that connected here. So, okay, there you go. I'm going to attach it here because it's already here. I'm going to attach task, attach to a task, and it's attached. So now if I were to come back to my task here, you will see a second attachment for the same thing. And that's why it's really cool, because if you're a project manager, it's easy for you to link up tasks in the project management system and your email. And this is a very quick and easy way to sort of do that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do have any, if you do have any comments, let me know and I'll be happy to help you out.